Good morning, everyone. My name is Sterling Higa, Chairperson of the Authority. I'd now like to call to order the March 25th, 2026 Pulehunui Authority Special Meeting of the Hawaii Community Development Authority. The time is now 9 a.m.
Thank you, Chair. In accordance with Section 92-3.7 Hawaii Revised Statutes, the Hawaii Community Development Authority is holding today's Pulehunui Special Board Meeting virtually on Zoom. The Zoom link details were included on the meeting agenda. Therefore, members of the public are welcome to join us on Zoom and also at our physical meeting site at the American Brewing Building, 547 Queen Street, second floor boardroom, Honolulu, Hawaii 96813. The HCDA communications staff is hosting this meeting. Once this meeting begins, everyone will be muted for clear audio. Board members, if you have any comments or questions, please unmute yourselves to speak. It is important that all individuals clearly state the name, pseudonym, or other identifier name each time prior to speaking. If you wish to provide oral testimony and you're attending virtually, please indicate so by clicking the raise hand button following your Zoom screen. If you're attending in person, you'll be called to the front of the room in the order that you signed up. Before you begin your testimony, we ask that you identify yourself and spell your name for the record. Your testimony must be related to an item on the agenda. All testimony will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. When time is elapsed, time will be called up, after which you will have 30 seconds to conclude your testimony, and then your audio will be turned off. If you're attending in person, the presiding officer will call the next testifier. Keep in mind that this is an opportunity to share your thoughts with us. If you ask questions during your testimony, neither the board nor the staff is required to answer. If the authority's connection to the remote meeting is lost, the meeting will be recessed until the connection is restored. If the connection cannot be restored within 30 minutes, the meeting will be terminated. The authority will continue the meeting at another notice date. Thank you.
Thank you. HCDA board members, please remain visible and audible during the meeting. Also, please acknowledge you are present by either saying here or present. Let the record reflect that the following members are present. Vice Chair Ishii.
Here.
Thank you. Secretary Lidstone.
Ew.
Thank you. Member Miranda Johnson.
Here.
Thank you. Member Anderson.
Here.
Thank you. Member Wicker.
Here.
Thank you. Member Forsyth is excused. Member Sarbis.
Here.
Thank you. Member Kabibi.
Here.
Thank you. And Member Yamasaki.
Here.
Yeah, quorum, Chair.
Thank you. For today's meeting, board members will have an opportunity to ask questions or provide comments after an agenda item has been presented. Individuals from the public who have requested to provide verbal public testimony on a specific agenda item are on standby and will be permitted to provide their testimony respectively. Moving to agenda item number 2, these are the approval of minutes, the regular meeting minutes of December 4th, 2024. Board members, are there any comments or corrections to these minutes? Seeing none, the minutes are approved as presented. Agenda item number 3 is for information and discussion. This is an informational presentation by HCDA staff and HCDA's consultant SSFM International on the progress by HCDA regarding the planning, designing, and constructing of infrastructure improvements in the HCDA's Pulehunui Community Development District, and further described by tax map key numbers 2-3-80080001, 2-3-808007, 2-3-808037, and 2-3-808038, consisting of approximately 988 acres of land established under Section 206E 263 Hawaii Revised Statutes. Mr. Craig Nakamoto, Executive Director, will now present the project update with staff on standby to help.
Thank you, Chair. Lindsay, who is the project lead, is available for questions as well. And also Garrett Sasaki, who's been helping on the Pulehunui project, is also available. Before I start, Chair, just wanted to thank Armaine for a lot of work in scheduling this special meeting. I think she went through a lot of effort to find a suitable meeting date. So just wanted to thank Armaine. So right now, Garrett is sharing a slide deck with you, and I'll kind of go through that slide deck and then I'll be open to questions. So the last time that we presented an update to the board was in December 2024, as you can see by the minutes. For some of the newer board members who may not know the background, under Act 190, 2022, we were tasked with leading the redevelopment efforts for the Pulehunui Community Development District. Our role was to coordinate between city, state, other state agencies and other users to develop infrastructure on this approximately 988 acres of land in South Maui. One of the vision was to create a kind of a long-term development window for this area on what is a really large amount of state land, and to possibly relocate the Maui jail, perhaps a judiciary building, and then the third Hawaii State Veterans Home. Next slide. This slide shows the project location map, which, as I mentioned, consists of 4 TMKs. Next slide. And this is a more detailed map showing existing and surrounding uses. As you can see, there's DHHL land on the opposite side of Veterans Highway and adjoining the district. Next slide. So the role of HCDA, I'll go over this really briefly, but is to coordinate the development of this 988 acres and mainly to do infrastructure. And our intent was to do infrastructure, without and working with county entitlement and zoning. It was never our intent to create separate rules to supersede county, and that remains true to today. We plan to do it using existing county's zoning. Next slide. The appropriation for this district consisted of $64 million to plan, design, and build infrastructure in this district. The RFP was issued in 2023. NTP was issued in June 2024. It's a 3-year contract with the possibility of 2 one-year extensions. And the purpose was to really start the planning in the first phase, do the planning for the district, what infrastructure is needed, based on the proposed development within the district by DHHL, DLNR, taking into account DCR's proposed relocation of the jail and other phases, other projects. Next slide. The project is in really the late planning and assessment phase, and we're doing additional analyses to support future decision-making. The efforts to date have focused on completing the planning studies and reports within the approved scope and budget. So the deliverables to date, which we'll go over in the next slides, in 3 slides, are the communication plan, the planning assessment report, or the PAR, and the infrastructure master plan. Next slide. The communication plan is still a work in progress. It was meant to kind of lay the foundation for reaching out to stakeholders, especially when the construction starts, if it starts. We hope to finalize the messaging and the objectives under that communication plan as we proceed to the next steps. Next slide. So the PAR, or the Planning Assessment Report, sets the baseline conditions for land use, infrastructure, and environment that's going to inform future planning. I don't think it's any surprise that water is going to be a key challenge for future development. Both the politics of water and the availability of water. Wastewater in the past was a concern for developments in this area. The County of Maui is in the process of planning, designing, constructing a new wastewater treatment plant that at least to date, we expect to be done somewhere in 2030. And as I mentioned, the PAR is gonna be kind of a foundation for decision making. So with the 64 million, I think we realized that that's just the first step in the development of this district. There's gonna need more funding in later phases, if that's the will of the legislature. As you can see from the this slide, the total estimated rough order of magnitude for construction costs exceeds $500 million. Obviously, that kind of money cannot be appropriated in one lump sum. It's gonna have to be phased out, and I think we have a kind of a 6-year phasing window for that project. The non-potable water system work includes pipes and a tank system for R1 water. Next slide. So the work done to date and the suggested next steps is the contractor is gonna contract with Interra to do some additional hydrogeological assessment work for water. They're gonna assess the potential use of R1 recycled water. And then lastly, there are 2 potential construction contracts that could be considered under this contract with the money we have and the time we have. So option 1 is what we call Road A, with a estimated cost of 39 million. Option 2 is what we call Road M, with an estimated construction cost of about 45 million. Next slide. So the option 1, Road A, is illustrated by this slide. Next slide. Option 2, or Road M, is illustrated by this slide. And of the 2 possible construction projects, we think Road M makes the most sense because it will provide more access to the Armory, the Raceway Park, the VA home, which is in progress of is moving forward. It's actually ahead of all the other projects. The possible relocation of the jail and adjoining judiciary building. These 2 options have been presented to the legislative champions for this project. So we need to schedule another meeting with the legislative champions to get their feedback on this, and whether or not this is where they wanna go in the next couple of months or next year. And I think we need to get some feedback right away if the construction is gonna proceed, because what I'm hearing on Maui is that construction costs are increasing, and we have a limited amount of funds under this contract. And so we're trying to schedule that meeting, Chair, with the legislative stakeholders. Try to hopefully get a meeting on next week. So Lindsay or Garrett, did you want to add anything more to that?
No, that was good.
Okay, so open for questions, Chair.
Thank you, Craig. I see member Yamasaki.
Hey, Craig and everybody, good job on this presentation. A quick question. As part of the Road M build out, are we required to do any kind of highway improvements? Because that's a kind of a major intersection that Road M is gonna come out to that highway. And I'm just wondering if there's any requirements on us to do any kind of improvements, whether it be a traffic signal or an overpass or underpass, or I don't know. Just a thought.
Thank you, Member Yamasaki. I'm gonna ask Lindsay to elaborate on that one.
So I think in the preliminary studies, they do intend to do a traffic signal off of the highway. I don't know if it's required necessarily, but they do plan on doing traffic improvements. So lighting, the electrical for the lighting, and then the signalization of that intersection is all contemplated for that road.
Okay. Is that our cost or whose cost would that be?
It would be part of the construction
Oh,
cost, so the
okay.
cost that you see there in the ROM, it includes that,
Oh,
so
okay.
we would essentially be paying for that as part of the project.
I guess that's for someone who lives on Maui, that highway is very well traveled, and I live in Kihei, and every time I travel to Kahului on this road, a traffic signal, although it's a good thing, it just will slow traffic down. And I don't know why we're against over or underpasses. This is something, it's my opinion. I'd rather see an overpass or an underpass rather than a traffic light. Because it just slows traffic down, it causes more congestion, although it's not very congested right now, but there's something about Maui. I don't know why we don't do overpasses or underpasses. Just for information
We
purposes.
did hear, that did come up, that a traffic signal may raise other issues despite being something that you typically would
Yeah.
want. So that's definitely something our consultant, Munekio, for the community outreach element
Sure.
would, investigate further, and then perhaps we refine the plan
Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
that. But we're still in the initial phase of deciding, if we're even going to do a road project. So
Okay.
once we make that
Yeah.
decision, then we can roll out the community outreach part.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
Member Yamasaki, I think Lindsay's exactly right. If we were to do Road M or Road A, we would have to engage Munikio, start the community engagement, inform Maui residents that there's gonna be construction activity and what we're proposing. And it's likely that the same comment you raised will be raised by other Maui residents. And then we'll have to take that into account, hopefully, and maybe the county will have to take it into account as they bring up imposed requirements or not for some kind of signal. Thank you, Member
Okay.
Yamasaki.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Member. Member Kabibi.
My comments are along the same lines as Member Yamasaki. I also live in South Maui. I would think I think putting a signal in makes sense, and I agree that underpass and overpass will never pass. So we probably shouldn't even go down that road. However, if there's a way that the signal can not be fully functional until the development is built out. So there's another intersection that the light doesn't work all the time. It's triggered by traffic. And so if maybe that would be a part of the plan, so that when we do go out for public comment, that we've already have that ready to address. And I think that will make people a little bit more willing. But I do think that this project will be a better sell if there are some road improvements and lighting. Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Kabibi. Members, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll go now to public testimony. Do we have any persons pre-signed up for testimony? Do we have any persons present or online who wish to provide testimony? Seeing none, we will close public testimony. Members, this was for information only, so any comments or questions before we adjourn the meeting?
And if I can just add one more thing, sorry, Chair.
Please.
So just for the board members, I think once we get some direction and input from the legislative champions on this, I'll suggest to the chair that we convene another Pulehunui board meeting so we can inform as to the direction we're gonna go and what task we're doing. Okay, thank you.
Is that someone wishing to testify?
That's what general authority. I believe it's what general authority.
Okay. All right. We will adjourn this meeting. So thank you to those who joined us on Zoom or in person. This concludes our business for today. The meeting is adjourned. The time is now 9:19 a.m. We will reconvene at 9:30 for the general authority meeting. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Mhm.